Hello, welcome to Studio SX. Thank you for being patient. I think you'll be rewarded for your patience. My name is Jason Gross from Perfect Sound Forever. We have a very special guest with us for an interview, Mr. Daniel Johnston.
Very good.
Thank you for being with us today.
No problem. It's an honor and a pleasure to see you all here today. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Let's start out. Could you talk
Okay.
about what attracted your interest first? Was it painting or music?
Music, for sure. I remember the Monkees was the record we'd play all the time. The first Monkees album. And we'd all pretend we were the Monkees.
Oh.
Then we had Elvis Presley's Christmas album. And we had Beach Boys' 409 album. We just play them all the time and pretend like we were in a movie or something.
What about the Beatles? Wasn't that something
The
on there
Beatles,
too?
yeah. Well, I didn't really know the Beatles early on until I was in high school. And I got some singles at a rummage sale, and I really enjoyed the Paul McCartney songs.
Right.
And then I remember looking in the record store, and I saw the Beatles, and I thought, I wonder if this is his old band. I wonder if they were any good.
Right, right. And how did you think that compared, though?
Well, I love the Beatles, everything they did.
Yeah.
I have a lot. I have probably $2,000 or $3,000 worth of Beatle bootlegs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just curious, was there also any local music where you were growing up that you were interested at all?
There really wasn't anything local except for my own piano,
Yeah.
And I just always pretended I was making music for a horror movie,
Okay.
like Christopher Lee, and I just pound on the piano.
Yeah. Okay. What about with your drawings and your comics? How did the interest in that kind of start out?
Well, because I was collecting comic books, I used to do my own comic books, from a cat, Sassafras cat. And it was her adventures in World War II and especially the Planet of the Dogs, which was never completed. So.
Okay. Did you find that when you do your music and you do your artwork that they ever kind of blend into each other in any way, or?
Well, yeah, it's just like I go to one room, I draw some pictures, and I come out and I play some music. So I try to keep that going all the day besides playing lots of videos.
But do you find that some ideas that come up for your artwork kind of feed into songs, or vice versa? The song ideas become maybe a piece of art at all in time?
Yeah, I always, when I got to college, I started majoring in art, and all my friends are artists, so that was a pretty cool era of songs of pain, And I had a lot of good friends, and we always went to Pizza Hut and movies and stuff, so I had a pretty good life back then.
Okay.
That was really the best slice of life I experienced because of all my friends and because my friends made me feel like I was famous. They wanted me to play the songs for them. I made them all tapes. And they made, I felt more famous then than I do now.
Really?
More like I feel like a monkey in a zoo in this place.
Okay. One of your biggest supporters that kind of changed things for you was Kurt Cobain. I was wondering, when he kind of became a supporter of yours, how did that change things for you as an artist with your work?
When John Lennon died?
No, I meant when Kurt Cobain kind of came out to support you and everything.
Yeah, that was really cool. I knew that he had worn the shirt to the awards ceremony, the Hi, How Are You shirt.
Right.
And when he died, he insisted on being buried wearing the shirt. Couldn't believe it. I'm kidding. Sorry. I'm sorry.
But did you find, though, that things had changed in terms of recognition and how you were seen as an artist and everything after that?
Yeah. When I got to Austin and I was working at McDonald's, MTV came to town, and all my friends that we were doing shows with got on the show. It was just about everybody.
Right.
And so when I saw myself on MTV, that was just the highlight of my life. I go, there I am, I made it.
Yeah.
It took a few years after that to really have my own records, but I used to hand out lots of tapes, and I make tapes for my friends and stuff. So.
Right. You were also working with Atlantic Records for a while. Could you talk about that?
Atlantic Records, yes, I was on Atlantic Records. I want to make another record. We had the Fun album,
Right.
of course. Me and Paul Leary want to make a new album called Fun 2.
Oh, wow.
You know, so we hope we can get it on Atlantic again. So we're hoping.
Is that kind of continuation of what you were doing before, or? Okay. You did a mural here in 1993. We were just talking about Jeremiah the Innocent, the frog mural. When you see that at all, I mean, what do you think of that? Is that kind of an iconic thing to you now, or do you take a lot of pride in that, or how do you see that?
Well, you just never know, you know. My life is like a road with no turn off. There's, you know, I'm heading down that road to my own death. You know, there's no return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been tribute albums done around your songs, and I'm wondering, from the versions of the songs that you've done, are there any particular favorites that you think really kind of captured the essence or really saw it in a different way that you liked?
Well, when people cover my songs, you mean?
Well, I mean, are there any particular cover or any particular
Well, I like
ones?
a lot. I like to hear them. They've done quite well, but I wish somebody would make a hit out of one. Then I could be rich. I'd love it.
Do any of them stand out, though? Any of the particular versions that you really like
Well,
a
they're
lot?
all pretty good. They're all pretty good. But
Yeah.
my songs are so weird. I don't know how somebody could really try to do them. I've heard some really good versions before that haven't been released. And I thought they were doing really well.
Okay. Now, obviously, you know about the documentary that was done about you, The Devil and Daniel Johnston, and you've seen that, of course. What did you think of the film?
Well, with a title like that, how could I win or lose? I couldn't believe it. They told me the title just a few days before it showed in Utah. And it was like, oh man, The Devil and Daniel Johnston. That's hardcore.
Yeah.
Curse me for life. You know.
Did it seem kind of strange to see your life up there on the screen, though? Did it seem like it was somebody different?
It seemed like Hard Copy. You ever seen Hard Copy? The
yeah,
show?
the TV show? Yeah.
And they talk about a criminal and everything. Boom, you know, and they keep making a point that everything rotten and worse. You know, it reminded me of that.
Really?
Yeah.
There was also a stage play done about you, kind of a rock opera, Speeding Motorcycle. Do you know? Did you get a chance to see that also?
Chance to see what?
It's called Speeding Motorcycle.
Oh, the video?
There was a stage play done about your songs.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of that?
Well, I thought they did pretty well. I did one new song for them, but when they were going to pay me $2,000, and I go, this is great. I'll work on it. I'll write it. Don't worry. But they took the $2,000 check and handed it to my dad.
Yeah.
And like they're sitting there looking at him, and I'm going, I wanted that money so I could, you know, spend some time and buy some soda pop or something. And so I really didn't have that much to do with it. It was over because I don't have a car, and I didn't have much contact with him. It was over before it began, you know. So, but it was a hit in a way, I guess. But not, I could have done it better. You know? Okay. Yeah.
Now I've heard that there's a shoe line that's being done with you. Can you talk a little bit about that? It's being done with Converse, I believe. Can you talk a little bit about that? What you're working on with that?
What was that again?
Converse is working with you, I believe.
Oh yeah, they were going to do some tennis shoes with my cartoons on the shoes.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. But
okay, you know if that's coming. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about that's happening recently is there's a biography picture being done with you, and we wanted to bring out the actor who's involved in that. Is that all right? Okay. Is he here?
Hey, Gabriel. All right.
Okay. Gabriel is going to be playing Daniel in the upcoming biofilm, am I right?
Yeah, actually, this is the first time we've ever kind of talked about it in public at all. And, you know, we're here to support Dan. We've also got a film playing here at South by, but...
And they're making a movie of my life, and he's playing the part of me in the movie. So it's pretty cool.
So
it is pretty cool.
Could you guys talk a little bit about working on that then?
Well, it's a Steven Spielberg production, I guess. He looks like Steven Spielberg. but he won't admit.
Yeah, E.T.'s going to be in it. And
Yeah,
we've
that's
talked
great.
all
Oh, that's great. Jaws, too. E.T. versus
That'll be
Jaws.
fun.
The guy who's writing it with me is David Miller, and he has somewhat of a resemblance to Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
And so the
Yeah,
first
he
time,
does.
the first time you met him, you called him Steven Spielberg the third, right?
I don't know. He never said he wasn't, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So why wouldn't
Yeah.
But we had just done a film called My Suicide, which premiered here at South by a few nights ago, and it's a very all over the place, a lot of animation, a lot of craziness. Like this kid with ADD kind of made this film, and while I was making that, I edited it for about 2.5 years as well. And while I was editing, I got really, really obsessed with Dan's music, and we were thinking about what we wanted to do next, and I do a lot of voices and stuff like that, and as soon as I listened to, I think it was Sorry Entertainer, and I just started going around to all my friends, just being like, hey, what's up, man? I just want to come over and know you, man. I just want to talk to you. I just want to hang out. You know, I just started doing the voice constantly.
Right.
And I didn't really know there was a documentary made about him, but I just like devoured all of his music and was just obsessed with it.
Right.
And finally saw the documentary, and it was kind of clear to me and our group that exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to do next. That it was like a cosmic thing, and that we had to do it. And went out and met Dan, and we've been talking with him a lot and coming up with some cool scenes and just kind of piecing the whole thing together, writing the script and all that. And it's going to be a very odd film, and our main goal with it is, you know, the documentary really talked about, you know, what people thought of Dan's life and their idea of how Dan's story was, and our movie is we're just jumping inside Dan's head, and the whole thing will just be inside Dan's head and seeing what the world looks like through through that head.
So it'd be kind of like an inner dialogue then, or?
Yeah, a bit like that. I mean, we kind of think of it like a full life story, kind of like Forrest Gump mixed with like a Hunter S. Thompson Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas type thing, right? Yeah.
It should turn out pretty good.
Are you going to be incorporating any of the artwork into that also, though?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a cameo appearance.
We're thinking he's going to play a bus driver,
that'd be
or
good.
he's going to sell me some kind of cigarettes.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, maybe sell me a bunch of cigarettes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
And also, he had a dream sequence that Laurie comes in and cuts his head off. So we're going to have Laurie cutting my head off at one point.
Okay.
I'm playing the young Daniel. We don't know who's going to play
I
the
don't
old
think you
Daniel.
should show that.
We don't think we should show that?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a stand-in here that would probably work. My friend Brett Hartenbach said he'd
Brett
do
Hartenbach looks nothing like you,
I
Dan.
know, but just put a wig on his head, and I'd
All right.
love it for the film. He wants to be a star, I'm sure.
Brett, you want to play Dan
appreciate it.
getting your head cut off?
All right. Let's hear it for Brett. All right. Now, that's the guy that loves art to go that far. But cool.
Yeah. But it's been cool, you know, coming out and, I mean, we want to film the whole thing in Austin. We're just kind of developing right now. And, you know, our main goal with it is, we just want to be in his head. We want to make it weird. We want to make it about music, art, schizophrenia. We want to make it just about his whole thing. So we're really trying to devour Austin right now and spend a lot of time with a lot of people who are very close to him, close to you, like Lewis Black and a lot of people. So.
What about the town of Waller? I mean, where you are now, is that going to be incorporated anyway into that also then, or?
Yeah, I think one of the big parts of the story is where Dan is at now, and I mean, I don't want to say too much because I mean we're just kind of figuring it out right now as is. But I spent a while in Waller, lived with Dan, lived with his brother, and have really been kind of watching and just seeing what their whole thing is right now, and it's pretty fascinating. I mean.
That is something I wanted to ask about. Could you either you talk a little bit about the town? Because I mean it's kind of a small place. Not too many people even from here might know about. You know.
A lot of Sonic burgers. A lot of God.
Yeah.
It's a you know. What do you think about Waller, Dan?
Well, Waller is really mostly older people, and when I lived in Austin, I was always getting in trouble, going to jail or the mental hospital. You know, so my dad built me a house right next door to my parents' house, so I have my own house now, and it's great.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking, this is my house.
Yeah.
You know, because all the dives I've lived in before, it was quite an improvement.
Your place is still kind of a dive, though. I mean, it's like
Well,
it's pretty trashed most of the time.
But I do have maids coming. I have maids.
Well, your sister comes out and helps you clean it up, and your brother. But But I don't know. I mean, it's he's kind of lived a million different lives, and
Yeah.
I mean, fans of Dan's obviously would know that he's kind of gone through a lot of different phases, but every one of them is still pretty fascinating. You know.
Right.
I mean, I'm big. You know, I like early Daniel a lot, but all of it, I'll devour all of it. Actually, one of the coolest things is they gave me a audio drive of all of his recordings unedited, just like stuff that he's been like, all of his journals ever since he was little, and like his diaries, and just like all of his stuff. And, I mean, it's like it's insane. I mean,
That'd be a great archive. That should come out sometime, you know?
I think so.
You know? You ever think about that, Daniel, about all of your unreleased drawings and
Well, I
and
have a new
recordings,
book
maybe?
out, matter of fact.
Oh, really?
We did get a book published,
Okay.
and it was released just the other week or so.
What's it called?
And we'll try to get a copy for you.
Okay.
Just something like The Art of Daniel Johnston or something. Yeah. Just a bunch of my drawings that I sold to my brother and my dad.
What about your older audio recordings that haven't come out? Have you ever
there's
thought about
tons of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about like having a box set or something like that
in
coming
fact,
out?
we
Or?
did. With my band, we just completed an album entitled The Death of Satan.
Okay.
And we're planning to put out a box set eventually of a lot of our other material.
Oh, that's great.
So it's fun
Okay.
to have a band of my own.
So when's that album coming out? Is that soon, or-
Could happen in a month or so.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still do notebooks and journals? And
Yes,
that
I
kind
do.
of thing?
Yeah.
You doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a couple of your journals. I didn't know if you
Yeah.
were still writing.
I'm trying to do some animation for a movie.
Oh, really?
And so,
Can you talk about that at all? What's that?
well, I signed a contract. It said something about animated cartoon. And I signed the contract. So I don't really know anything more about it than that, other than I wanted to make my own cartoon, and that's what I'm trying to do. So they might have people working with me later on. So I'd be excited.
Can you talk about what that's about? What's the subject?
Well, it's just like the concept of all my drawings and my songs sort of all put together in some kind of story.
Oh, wow.
What I think should be a lot of fun to end up
Oh, that'd
in a
be pretty
movie someday.
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, with the film, what kind of time frame are you looking at with it coming out and everything?
Oh, did it come out? I mean, I can't really say. I don't really know for sure. We're just in the research phase of it now, and the writing and the script. And David Lee Miller and I are just kind of diving into just the start of it. You know, we don't really know. But I've been able to kind of devour all of, you know, all of the interviews and all the notebooks and all the.
He's a good old guy. I'm proud of him. I think he's going to be a big star.
Thanks, Dan. But yeah, we've been able to hang out, which has been like a dream come true to me. I mean, hanging out, going to a bookstore with Dan, and then going to Sonic Burger and eating 5
We
burgers.
bought so many videos. They had them in boxes, $5 a piece, you know. And we bought so many videos, there was hardly any room for us to get in the car.
Yeah.
You literally bought, like, walked in, and the guy at the bookstore goes, "Oh, hello, Mr. Johnston."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'll take everything you got." Does this thing, and they're just kind of like, "Okay." Loads up my car. I got like a little crappy Mercury Mystique, loaded up with so many VHS tapes, they're like falling out the windows.
What kind of stuff? Anything?
Everything.
Yeah.
Anything. Everything.
Yeah.
Every movie. Have you watched a single one of those movies yet? Yeah. Anyways, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely went down in the history as one of the coolest days of my life.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I went to Sonic Burger, had a burger, had a cigarette, went home, came out the next day, bought more VHS tapes.
It sounds like a good time.
Day in the life of Daniel Johnston.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't know about the schedule. I don't really know when anything is
No, that's fine. I was just curious, just about the time frame and everything. Okay, that's good. Well, thanks both of you for coming out here.
Okay,
We
thank you
appreciate
very
your
much.
time.
Thank you, sir.
Daniel will be playing at
Good
South
luck
by
to you.
Southwest.
Thank you for being
His new
kind.
album coming out.
Okay,
and
yeah.
thanks for coming out and everything.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Daniel.